Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. Today's video is going to be a pretty chilled, sat, get to know me, updated Q&A. I don't actually think I've ever done a Q&A on this channel, have I? No, I don't think I have. I actually filmed one about a month ago before we went into lockdown and all this happened, and I was on my camera filming footage for a weekly vlog and I deleted the footage by an accident, and it was about 40 minutes of me rabbiting on about rubbish. So I was like, okay, now's the time. I was a bit fuming, but I was like, now I've calmed down about it, I can refilm it. And I asked on my Instagram if anyone to send in any questions. This was like yesterday, no, like 2 days ago I asked, so these were all pretty new, fresh questions. I've screenshotted them all here and I'm just gonna go through. I literally haven't even really read through them, I scanned quickly. I just thought let's just have a little catch up. Obviously if you watch my weekly vlogs you will know kind of what's going on and how I'm coping with this situation, but I just thought it'd be nice to do a little bit of a get to know me, because I don't think I've actually spoke in detail about kind of like my job before this, about me and Jordan, anything like that, and I got so many questions about stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I thought I'd start off with the questions about Instagram, my job, etc, etc, because I had so many about that. I'm going to try and just put them all into one question because all of them are obviously worded a bit different. We had stuff like, how long were you doing fashion posts before working with brands? What was your job before YouTube and Instagram? How do you think of fresh posts and to be different? Just loads of stuff about getting like into the industry and stuff. So basically my job before, let me put this on silent because that's really annoying. So my job before I did Instagram full time, first of all I went to uni at Leeds Becker University and studied public relations. While I was there I was working at Victoria's Secret in Leeds Trinity, which I absolutely loved. I loved working there. I met so many good friends working there who I'm still in touch with. I absolutely loved it. When I left Victoria's Secret and when I graduated, me and Jordan moved to Nottingham. Another question was, why did you move to Nottingham? We moved to Nottingham because Jordan basically was looking for jobs. I'll get into that later. He got a job in Nottingham which was really, really good, and we were like, why not? What have we got to lose? Let's go to Nottingham. So we moved here. We moved here 2 years ago in June. Yeah, wow, that's flew over. And I got a job doing fashion marketing for a fashion brand who we will not name. And yeah, I worked there for about 3 months. I enjoyed it. That's where I met Rachel, who's now one of my best friends. And yeah, like I was buzzing because I always wanted to work in the fashion industry. I knew that I was interested in that, but I never knew kind of what I wanted to do. Obviously my degree was in PR and I wanted to do social media, that type of thing. I didn't know that blogging could be a full-time job. So when I was working there, on the side I kind of worked with a couple of brands here and there. I first ever worked with a brand in my final year of university, so about 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. And I remember being sat in my uni flat and Rebellious Fashion DM'd me and was like, we'd love to send you some bits. And I was like, what? Like, why would they want to send me some stuff? Like, what the hell? I used to just post when I was going out with the girls, or if I was in town and I felt like I looked nice, I would get a photo. But yeah, I just used to literally post Instagram like everyone uses Instagram for, just to share photos of what you've been up to, if I was on holiday with Jordan, anything like that. And then Rebellious Fashion sent me some clothes. I was just doing gifting then. Obviously I literally had, I think I had like 3,000 followers at that point, maybe not even that. I don't know, I think it was about 3,000. And from there, like, other companies just started approaching me. I remember that first post for Rebellious Fashion, I was absolutely shitting myself to post it. I was like, oh my god, are people gonna think I'm weird? People are gonna be like, who does she think she is? And I remember saying to like the girls I lived with, 3 of my best friends, oh my god, when I upload it, please will you just like and comment on it, because I'm so like, what the hell? I just didn't, it was so weird and like different. And it was still quite new then, I think 3 years ago. There was still people quite big in the industry, but it still was relatively new. So that was the first ever like collab I did, and then from there I think I worked like Quiz and then Miss Pap, and then when I was working at the fashion brand, it kind of just took off, and it was really weird because it was just like one week. I remember I posted a photo for Femme Looks and I was wearing a white mid-axi dress, and I'm still in the living room through there. It's a mirror photo because obviously I couldn't really get time to do photos. Me and Rachel used to get ready for work early, take photos in her garden, and then take our makeup off, put our joggers on because we used to go to work dead chilled, and like do it all before work, like literally like 7 AM. But I remember I posted this photo for Femlux and it just like did really well, and then like 100 Flavors, which is like an inspo page, reposted it, and from there my account just grew really fast, and for the first year it was growing like 10,000 followers a month every single month. So I went from like 3,000 at one point to like a year later, no that's not right, because 3,000 when I was at uni. I went from about 5,000 when I first started taking it a little bit more seriously when I was working in the fashion brand to 100,000 in a year, and that was literally just crazy. But well, I feel like I'm telling this like a story, but like I'm trying to just make sure that I mention every single point. But so yeah, that's how I got into the industry. Rebellious Fashion first reached out to me. I just used to post stuff that I liked, I used to post clothes that I liked. That was it. Jordan filming a Q&A. Unless you want to come in and answer some questions about you.
That's a question.
Thanks. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that's how I got into the industry. And then that's how my account kind of grew from there. Working with brands, I got a lot of questions like, how did you start working with brands? How do you continue to work with brands and stuff? I think it comes from one. Honestly, if I'm honest, it takes one. Like as soon as I worked with Rebellious Fashion, even though I only had, you know, 3,000 to 5,000 followers, companies then still would come and want to work with you. And another question I got was, when did you go full-time? So I left my fashion marketing job in the September, and I would class myself as being full-time from like the October-November, because I did have a couple of weeks where I was like, I'm gonna have to get a job, what am I doing, blah 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 blah. But then I realised actually no, I can make a living from this, and that was in probably the end of October 2018, yeah, because it was a year, October just gone, yeah, 2018, since October 2018. And at that point I actually only had 10,000 followers. So everyone's like, what, how could you do it full time then? But companies do pay you at that level. Obviously it's not huge, it's not a massive amount of money when you've got 10,000 followers. However, one thing I will say is companies pay for the image. They're paying, sometimes it's not just for the promotion who it's going out to, it's for the content you create. And I've always took pride in creating like good quality content. I always plan things out, and I like to go out and do like street style pictures and stuff. It's just working with brands who want that style of photo, and if they like your photos and they want you to produce content for you, then they're going to pay. And another way of making money is through affiliate links. So when I do swipe up to shops, I will get a percentage of that, like a commission, because you shopped through my link. So that is kind of like the main things. I know I've basically just told that like a story of how I got into it, but that's kind of the easiest way to do it, I think, to cover every question that was asked. So that is everything on the blogging industry. If you want me to do actually like a dedicated Q&A for like influencing the blogging industry, I hate that word, but I will, and then at least you can ask loads of like more in-depth questions. But let me know if you want me to do that. Also, before I actually move on, I've just seen one here at the bottom saying, do you think it's still possible to break into the influencer industry at this stage? 100% yes. Like 100% yes, there's a lot of people in the industry, like a lot of people, but there's always room for more. Everyone has something which is unique. Just go for it. And I get so many girls message me all the time saying like, have you got any advice? Like, what should I do? How can I get into it? Just like go for it. Who cares what anyone thinks? Like when I first got into it, I had people saying all sorts about me, like from where I live, like thinking, and they probably don't even know that I know, and I know things that people would say behind my back, and you've just got to like rise above it. Who cares? If you're doing something you love, go for it. Just like if someone who is a doctor does what they love, go for it. Like, yeah, it's a little bit of a different new job. I don't think people still actually understand it maybe as much because it is still quite new, but I just say go for it. Don't care what anyone says. Be consistent, be true to yourself, and you do you. Just go for it. Honestly, just go for it. That's all I would say. Next, let's move on from that topic, because that was about, well, I've just looked and it's 15 minutes of me rambling on about that. So next. Okay, so I had so many questions about Jordan, which is strange. It's not really strange because he's my boyfriend, but I think now that I do YouTube, people see more of my life. Like, I don't really post Jordan a lot on Instagram. I used to before this was my job, but now like I post like fashion and lifestyle stuff, and like he doesn't really love getting his photo taken, if I'm honest. I mean, he will sometimes, but I'm not going to stick a camera in his face. But now that I do YouTube and people actually see my life, like we live here together, it's just us two, I think people are a bit more interested. But basically someone said, your relationship is so cute, I'd love to know how you two met. So long story short, because this is a very long story, Jordan lived in America for 5 years. He was home for Christmas on one of the years when we met 4 years ago. We've been together 4 years. Wow, how bad am I at answering questions? This is painful. Yeah, so we've been together 4 years. He was living in America and he was home for Christmas, and his family live 5 minutes from where my family live, and he slid in the DMs, if I'm honest. He messaged me on Facebook and was like, hey, how are you? And I remember I was at a family party and I'd heard of his name before because he's obviously from Durham, where I'm from. So I heard of him, but I thought, is he American? I was like, is this boy American? What's going on? And I was intrigued, so I was like, hi, yeah, good, you. And then I think we like went back and forth. And then it was Christmas time, so everyone was on nights out, and we met out and about. And then he was literally home for 2 weeks before he had to fly back to America. And we spent every single day together for 2 weeks. It was bit crazy. I actually say to him, it's like Dear John, like, you know, when they meet and then they spend time together for 2 weeks and then he's got to go off, and then that was it. So we spent 2 weeks, we were going on dates, we were going out for lunch, we were just literally, we were going out and getting drunk, like we were just getting to know each other really. And then it got to the point where he had to fly back, and I'd just gone to uni. Yeah, I'd just gone to uni, and I said to him, like, look, you live in America, I've just gone to uni, like, let's just see what happens. And he was like, yeah, like, you know, we'll just see how it goes, like, there's no pressure, whatever. And we just made it work. Like, we just used to FaceTime literally every day. We used to make time for each other. And then he went, so he went back in the January to America. He flew back over in the March to see me and to like meet my family, so that then I could fly over, because I was like, look, I'm not going to fly over to America unless you come and meet my fam first. So he came and met like my mum and dad, and then after that I used to fly over, visit him for a couple of weeks, he would fly back and visit me, and we did long distance for 2 years, which is a long time. And then I finally moved over and lived with him for 6 months before he moved home officially. So that was really, really good. I moved over and we lived in West Virginia. Jordan was a soccer coach as well as like working in finance over there, so we would like just travel. We did like all the places we wanted to do. We'd go to all his soccer tournaments, did Vegas, Miami, everywhere. Honestly, it was unbelievable. I always say, oh my god, imagine if we lived there. I always say, wish I did YouTube back then, because imagine having all the videos like of us back then, like doing all them amazing things. But everything happens for a reason. There's obviously a reason I didn't do it back then. But yeah, so yeah, 2 years of a long distance relationship. Everyone always asks me, which is another question, was it really hard? How did you do 2 years? And to be honest, it was hard, but we just made it work. Like, we always said you have to make time for each other, you have to put the effort in. It's a lot of work, and obviously granted there was times where, for example, at uni, all my friends had their boyfriends around and I couldn't see mine because he was the other side of the world. That was hard, and there was a 5-hour time difference. So sometimes when I would be waking up on a morning, he would be like halfway through his day, or when I'm going to bed he's like, well, I can't actually remember the exact, it was like 5 hours, but I can't remember who was before. So either way, it was just like hard sometimes to, you know, make sure you like work in each other's lives, and like you've got to stay, you've just got to put effort in. That's the main thing I would say. We just always said, like, if it ever gets to the point where this is a chore and I'm like, oh, I don't want to FaceTime him today, then that's not right. But that never happened. We always just made it work, and now we're here 4 years later. Next question is, do you ever have days where you don't feel very body confident? And let me tell you, absolutely. If you watch my vlogs, you'll know last week I just was having one of them weeks where I was just like, I don't want to take any photos. And when that's your job, it's quite difficult. Sometimes with this job I feel a lot of pressure to look a certain way, and a lot of pressure to be on top of it, and oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I need to look like this, or I need to do my hair. And I'm not like that at all. Like, I do my makeup once a week, I shoot all my photos in one day, and I film my videos, and then the rest of the week I wear no makeup, my hair's in a bun, I'm going to the gym and I'm chilling. Like, I don't like being dressed up and looking really glam all the time. It's just not me. In terms of body confidence, like, everyone, sorry, I got really itchy leg, everyone has days where they're gonna feel not the best. Absolutely. I have days where I'm like, oh, I look quite good today, like, I feel in good shape, I've been working out. Yes, I have other days where I wake up and I'm like, alright, well, I feel minging. That's normal. Like, that is so normal. Every day you're not gonna feel amazing, like, but you've also just got to not be too harsh on yourself. Like, I get a lot of questions about like workout routines, healthy eating, my diet, and like, one thing I always say is it's just about balance. I never put pressure on myself. I never say like, it's hard to explain. I used to, like, when I was at uni, for example, like, going back to that, I would like put so much pressure on myself. If I didn't go to the gym for one day, I would beat myself up. I'd be like, I can't believe I didn't go to the gym. For the whole day I'd feel guilty. It's ridiculous. If I ate something bad, I would beat myself up, and that is not a healthy way of living. Like, now, if I want to wake up and work out, I'll do it. If I don't, then I'm like, oh, I really want to, because I know that after it I'll feel better, like, and I know that I'll benefit from it. But sometimes if you can't be arsed, you can't be arsed, and that's it. And if you want to wake up one day and eat a whole pack of digestives, a Domino's and ice cream, go for it. I do that. Some days I'm like, I need a donut, I need crispy bites, they are literally my favourite snack in the world, I need crisps, I need XYZ, and I'll just do it. Because then other days I'll be drinking green juices, I'll be resembling a carrot stick, and I'll be doing laps of the garden. Like, it doesn't matter. Every day is different, and I just think that turned into a massive big preach, but I honestly do believe that, like, you've just got to not be hard on yourself. And if I'm honest with you, when I used to put pressure on myself, I never used to see any changes in my body, or if I was going towards a certain goal or whatever. But when I'm more relaxed and I just kind of do what I want and don't ever make myself feel stressed or put pressure on myself, I always see changes. I don't know whether it's like a mental thing and a mental like block of putting pressure on doesn't even get you the results, but I just would say yes, of course I have days where I don't feel confident, but you've just got to let yourself be. You've just got to let yourself manage it and be like, okay, I feel crap today, that's fine, I'm gonna binge watch YouTube, and that is okay. Okay, next question, which I think is a good one leading on from that, is how do you stay motivated? Like I said, every day is different. Some days I don't feel motivated. Last week I was not motivated at all. I couldn't be bothered to do anything. I wanted to lie in the garden because the weather was nice and read my book and watch Netflix, and that was about it. But again, it's about balance. But how do I stay motivated? I always try and write a list. So for me, I know it's not for everyone, but lists really make me feel a lot more productive and motivated. So on an evening, so for example last night before I went to bed, I got my notes up on my phone and I wrote down even the little things, like, just to feel more productive. I cannot even stress enough, I will write in my to-do list, wake up, then I'll put yoga, then I'll put 30-minute HIIT, which is what I've done today, and then I'll do make a coffee, shoot outfit for couture club, my couture club stuff's there. Like, I will make a to-do list with the tiniest things on, even things that aren't even relevant, and that motivates me, because ticking them off, I'm like, yes, I've done that, yes, I've done that. Even if it is waking up and making a coffee, you go girl, tick it off your list. Like, making lists makes me feel like I've got my shit together, I'm prepared and I'm organised. And another thing I'll say is put stuff on your list that you've already done. So if I've tidied up the dressing room without even intentionally doing it, I just did it because I'd made a mess, I'll write on my list, tidy dressing room, and tick it off. So that's another thing that I've done today. It wasn't on my list to start with, but I've done it, and it just shows you, and as you see at the end of the day how much you've done, that'll motivate you to be like, alright, okay, I've had a really productive day today, tomorrow I'm going to do the same. So that's what I find is the most motivating thing for me. So I had a lot of questions as well about my boob job, which I expected, because ever since I did that first video I get so many questions, but I love talking to you all about it. I speak to so many of you on DMs who are either getting it done or are thinking into it, and I always say literally ask me anything, because I feel like it's so important to be open about stuff like that. And I know that when I was doing my research into the industry and getting my boobs done, I didn't feel like there was a lot out there. There was little bits and bobs here and there, but I didn't feel like there was a lot, so I'm just going to cover that now. So I had a few questions. One of them was how you feeling after it, are you happy with the results, scarring, blah blah blah. So I am beyond happy with the results. Like, I can't even stress enough how happy I am. I don't regret it one bit. I'm just so happy, like now especially that they've like healed properly and I'm getting to see them in clothes. Like now it's warm outside and I can wear, like I wore a bikini in the garden and I was like, oh my god, like I just feel so nice. And I know it's not all about, you know, how you look, but, and don't even come at me with stuff like that, but if you've watched my boob job journey video, which I'll link below, you'll know why I wanted it and the reasons behind it. Everyone's different, everyone has different views and opinions, but for me, I absolutely love them. I'm so happy with them. They've healed perfectly. They are everything and more that I would have wanted and expected. They, for me, look so natural and fit my frame and body so much more, and the scarring is tiny. Like even now, obviously I'm only like 4 months post-op now, and it's tiny, like they're little tiny red scars, but they sit underneath your boob, like right under where it sits, so it covers them anyway, so you don't even see them. Like I literally don't see them unless I lift my boobs up or like stand back. But yeah, I am really happy with the results. I'll actually do like a dedicated video to that as well if you want. We can do a regular, let's do regular Q&As. We'll do an influencer chats one, we'll do a boob job chat one. Anything else you want me to do, let me know and we'll do it. Why not? So I think I'm going to end this video here because it's already like half an hour long, but I hope you enjoyed that video. I think I answered the majority of the questions. I tried to just bulk them into one and not ramble, but I do think I did ramble quite a lot. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all on Sunday's video. Bye.